Now let us talk about Haryana. It was mother of all elections. It surprised everyone, both winners and losers. And the winner and the loser in terms of party also. Now without wasting time, let's discuss what results of the election in Haryana stand for. BJP won 48 seats, 8 seats more than 2019. Congress got 37 seats, 6 more than 2019. Congress vote share increased from 28% to 39%. BJP's vote share increased from 36.7% to 39.9%. Haryana has 17 SC seats, BJP won 8 and Congress 9 seats. BJP won 18 out of 25 urban seats, Congress won 5 urban seats. Out of 65 rural seats, BJP won 30 and 32 were taken by the Congress. GT Road Belt, BJP won 15 and Congress 12 seats. The Jatland, BJP won 14 and Congress 10 seats. South Haryana, BJP won 17 seats and Congress 6 seats. Bagar Belt, Congress won 9 and BJP 3 seats. Rebel fought from 26 seats. Congress rebels directly impacted 10 seats. Some of the affected seats are Narwana, Tigaon, Gohana, Badhara, Ballabgarh, Rania, Safido, Pundri, Prithla and Meham. 6 dynasts won from BJP. Only Bhavya Bishnoi lost. And Prime Minister, since winner takes it all, summed up his victory in a way which is putting Congress in a spot. Let's listen to what Prime Minister had to say, because the BJP was lying low for 6 months.
उनको वोट बैंक के कन्वर्ट करो और वोट बैंक को मजबूत करो। कांग्रेस के एक भी नेता ने आज तक कभी नहीं कहा कि हमारे मुस्लिम भाई बहनों में कितनी जातियां होती हैं। मुस्लिम जातियों की बात आते ही कांग्रेस के नेता पर मुंह पर ताला लगाकर बैठ जाते हैं। लेकिन जब भी हिंदू समाज की बात आती है तो कांग्रेस उनकी चर्चा जाति से ही शुरू करती है। कांग्रेस की नीति है हिंदुओं की एक जाति को दूसरी जाति से लड़ाओ। कांग्रेस जानती है कि जितना हिंदू बटेगा उतना ही उसका फायदा होगा। कांग्रेस किसी भी तरीके से हिंदू समाज में आग लगाए रखना चाहती है ताकि वो उस पर राजनीतिक रोटियां सेकती रहें। भारत में जहां भी चुनाव होते हैं वहां कांग्रेस यही फॉर्मूला लागू करती है। अपना वोट बैंक पक्का करने के लिए कांग्रेस समाज में जहर घोलने के हर हथकंडे अपना रही है। कांग्रेस पूरी तरह से सांप्रदायिक और जातिवाद का चुनाव लड़ती रहती है।
So in this decoding the Haryana verdict, I'm joined by Vipin Pabi and Ajit Kejha, senior journalists, people who have covered elections. Ajit is a psephologist, he understands. But let me straight away go to Mr. Pabi. Mr. Pabi, my question to you is, now we have got the time, the distance of time is inquired for some sort of an inquiry. Do you think that the Congress lost because of over-focus on Jat, where other other biradaris became upset? Or factionalism at booth level and poor mismanagement which led to difference of only 1 lakh vote. 1 lakh vote. That's the difference between BJP and Congress. 1,20,000 shayad.
Yeah, 1,20,000.
Yes. To you.
Yeah, so there was enough time now for food for thought because of yesterday's that stunning results that they came, and there are a lot of figures, a lot of statistics which are very interesting, eye openers. Maybe we did not smell the leaves There were some writings on the wall which were not read by anyone, I would say, because that includes exit polls and senior journalists and other observers and everyone, So nobody could really come out with that. Even, a lot of senior people who had been in the field, they also said that they could not, but if you look back, yeah, there are a number of things. And as you correctly pointed out, it is not just one or two factors. There are a combination of factors which impacted the results. And one of the most important, as you correctly put right in the beginning, was Jat votes. Now, definitely Congress was 100% banking on it. And they had a chief minister aspirant who was from the community. And it was very, very clear that, that if Congress wins, then Huda is going to be the chief minister, and that family and Jats are going to dominate. But actually, what happened on the ground was that this actually went against them in certain things. And one of them was that the anti or the non-Jat votes, they consolidated. They thought that again the same kind of period will come and we'll have the same one family domination. And, the Jats, of course, will be in the dominant position.
Mr. Pabi, Parchi Karchi ki sarkar.
Well, that also reminded them. Mr. Modi reminded them, and it's a fact also because it wasn't a very clean government in that sense because of a lot of employment and job opportunities being cornered or being given away to the favorites. But the more important point, I think, relating to Jats, one was the consolidation. The other was a lot of division among the Jats. You will see that in that area only, you had the INLD with its alliance partner, and you had JJP with its alliance partner, and that, of course, you had Congress. So there was a division, four-part division, and that included about 7% votes which have been taken by JJP and INLD combined, plus another 7% votes or more, perhaps, taken by the independents. 14%, sorry. 14% votes taken by the independents. And these two Jat parties, INLD and JJP combined, together, they've taken about 7%. So there was a lot of people there for the cake, so to say, in the Jat areas. And that was one of the factors perhaps all of us overlooked, that, JJP or INLD will not
Mr.
have any...
Pabi, so first conclusion is, you are saying, if there was a non-Jat consolidation, you are saying that even the Jats were divided. That's the fun. Do you think that another reason, is it correct to say that in last 10 years, because of factional infighting, there was no booth level and a district level management, nothing was done at the level of organization by the Congress? Is it correct? A lot of people were tweeting this today in hindsight that this was the reason.
You see, because it is correct, and it is because of the overconfidence. Congress had been always showing us the graph since 2019 they're on the decline, or after 2014 they're on the decline. In 2019 Lok Sabha election, then followed by the assembly election, and then followed by the recent Lok Sabha election. The graph of BJP had been falling, and that was perhaps a matter of overconfidence among the Congress that it is on the decline, and we are there to just win. There's nothing else that needs to be done. So they became very casual, I would say, very casual. And they did not work on the ground level, unlike the BJP, which continued with its Panna Pradhans and at booth levels, and each constituency wise, they would, find out how many votes, who has how many votes, which are the candidates, how these are to be managed. So that management was done by the BJP, not by the Congress at all, because they were not there. And several booths, I am told now, polling booths, did not have a Congress stand or a stall. In fact, frankly, where I went to vote, I went there and I noticed that there was a BJP stall booth. And I went and checked up my, voter number and all that. But on my return, I saw that there was actually a Congress booth, which I missed, because there was hardly anybody there, one or two people sitting there. So that might have happened in other parts of the country, that Congress took it very, very casually, getting overconfident or mismanagement, whatever it is, that they did not have enough people to look after their polling booths.
Okay, so that's point number one. The second point is, if you look at the data, Ajit, it's not as if that Congress lost all the SC seats. Congress has SC seats. It won more, lot of rural seats. The difference between BJP and Congress is 1 lakh vote. It's 1 lakh vote, and it is correct to say that the BJP has snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, because this was not a BJP election. This was a Congress election, because the vote jump of the Congress party is far bigger than Bharatiya Janata Party. So everything was like what was happening in Gujarat in 2017. There was a huge vote share jump taking place for the Congress. BJP had a substantial, but BJP's ground management was great. But there is another issue here, which is a broad issue. Do you think that the older leadership of Congress party continues to stall Rahul's decision? Kamal Nath, Ashok Gehlot, you recall Ajay Makar and Mallikarjun Kharge then had to come back, and Mallikarjun Kharge was not even the president of the party. They couldn't meet the legislators in Rajasthan, if you recall, before the Lok Sabha elections, the tamasha that happened. And now Bhupender Singh Hooda.
See, let me answer your second question first. See, it's not only that the older leadership doesn't listen to Rahul Gandhi, and obviously one reason they don't listen, because Rahul lacks experience, number one. Rahul is not in power. You know, when Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi and Narasimha Rao was in power, the state satraps would listen. Rahul not being in power, not being able to, doesn't have control over resources. It's the state party bosses which control resources. So therefore, they don't listen to him. What is more important, they don't listen to him on the issue of getting allies from the India alliance into the fold, right? Had AAP or Akhilesh even been given 2 or 3 seats in Haryana, maybe the results would have been different. As we saw arithmetically, the AAP got almost 2%.
Are you saying, Ajit, are you saying that they should have accommodated Akhilesh, Aam Aadmi Party?
Yes. I've always argued that people don't realize it is not only mathematically 2 plus 2 makes 4, but actually if you go for an alliance, the jump in seats according to the cube law is always much more geometrically rather than arithmetically. Something difficult to explain on TV, but somehow I don't know why parties don't realize that. The other point that you made, you see, this is the first question that you asked me, very important. See, whenever Congress's vote share goes up, like in this election, by 11%, and BJP is only 3.5%, what the Congress doesn't realize that the BJP is a master in mobilizing. They just jack up the turnout rates. When you jack up the turnout rates, like in Madhya Pradesh, if you remember, the BJP jacked up the turnout rate so high in the last assembly election that they got almost 9% more vote than the Congress. When if you look at the previous election, the Congress had a little bit more percentage vote than the BJP. So what I'm saying is, this is a game that the BJP knows. What they do is, those people who had not voted earlier, ever in an election, they go and approach them. And they bring them into the fold, and thereby they get them. That is a master strategy that the Congress needs to learn. So it's jacking up the turnout votes. Thereby, even if the rival is getting more vote share, the BJP ends up increasing its vote share. Even if marginally, it ends up winning the election. That is very important.
Okay. Mr. Pabi, Bharatiya Janata Party, by sidelining Manohar Lal Khattar and putting Naib Singh Saini in place, and now he will be the Chief Minister, they have created a leadership. Whether it works or not in the next election is not an issue. But in this election, under his leadership, the mandate has come. Modi did only 4 rallies. Naib Singh will be the Chief Minister. You build a product. It's like you build reporters, you build, your editors and media, you build politicians. With whom Rahul Gandhi will be working after Hooda? Who are the leaders? Do you think it's Selja, who's a Rajya Sabha member, never done state politics? Or is it going to be Randeep Singh Surjewala, a Jat, who is dabbling in central politics now? Is it going to be Mr. Tawar, who's been traveling all over the place? Am I right in saying that there is a leadership vacuum now after this defeat in Haryana?
Definitely, there is a leadership vacuum. As we were discussing yesterday, also, Mr. Huda is a gone case now, with his age not on his side. So he's unlikely to continue leadership of the party in the near future, or definitely for the next election. So they will have to look for leaders who have a lot of acceptability, who don't get into silos, and who have a wider appeal in the state. So I think Congress has enough time right now to prepare for the next leadership, but it will have to see so many factors. For instance, Shailaja. I mean, this is absolutely morally incorrect on her part not to campaign. Keeping away herself from the campaign, it is not a plus point which will go in her favor. She has never been active in the state, of course, never contested assembly election, but she also distanced herself from the campaign at a crucial juncture, which should not be done. And Randeep Surjewala is a quiet kind of a player. Yes, he has, he is more well known for two reasons. One is his father was a minister here for a long time, power minister. And then he, as a Congress spokesman, he has been there on the screens for a very long time. He is better known, but still he also was not active on the ground, except in his own constituency. Same as Shailaja went to a few of these constituencies. Randeep Surjewala also confined himself into two or three of them. Tamar, I would rule out completely, because given his background and party hopping and all that, he is not one of those people who could be there. Dipender Huda is another person who you cannot rule out. He's for an educated person, intelligent, sharp. So far, he had been in the shadows of his father. But at the same time, there is a possibility that he can be
let me ask this question straight. The sort of Bhajan Lal politics has been occupied by Bharatiya Janata Party. They are saying that they represent each and every caste. Even Hindutva politics is a rainbow of coalition of caste. There is no politics in India without caste. So BJP also does caste politics, but it doesn't say it. It builds around the larger rubric of Hindutva. So that's the only difference. But now they occupy the non-Jat space, which means that the Congress will have to find a Jat who is acceptable to the non-Jats. Okay. A clean face of Jat. It's a bind. Either they go into that space where Naib Singh Saini and Mr. Khattar is occupying, baithe hue wahan, or they retain this space and go for a face which is acceptable, or else this will again go to parties like INLD and JJP. It's a bind for Congress. So how do you think they will be resolving it?
Well, I think it's important for Congress to not just put all its money on one horse. They should be building a second cadre of leaders, young leaders, and then see how and what kind of acceptability is there. How are they able to mobilize people? How are they able to spread their word among people? So it is not going to be easy. Since for a long time earlier it was the three Lals, then it was
so basically, Mr. Pabbi, you are saying that they will need to build a second line of leadership. But my question was slightly different. Ajit, my question is, ये दिक्कत नहीं है कांग्रेस के लिए. आप मेरा सवाल समझ गए ना? They can't go to that space. वो वहाँ बैठे हुए हैं. उसको तोड़ना बहुत मुश्किल है. They can't leave the Jat leadership because अगर छोड़ेंगे तो INLD और JJP चली जाएगी. तो वो जो एक एक्सेप्टेबल जाट लीडर चाहिए उनको, जो जिससे बाकी लोग नाराज ना हो, खर्ची पर्ची के जिस पे तंगबा ना लगा हो. I don't want to use the word benign, but somehow who's more liked, there's a word which there was a write-up which I read, जो सुने सबकी but चले उसकी. A leader सुने सबकी पर चले उसकी. वो उनको उस community से ढूंढना पड़ेगा. Don't you think that's going to be the challenge, if not the biggest challenge?
See, as Mr. Pabbi rightly pointed out, they need to basically build up a second line of leadership, in which, of course, they should look for younger Jat leaders. In fact, he named Dipender Huda, Surjewala and others. But I think, if you ask me, I believe the Congress should look for a future chief minister from Haryana, from the 20% Dalit voters. You see, because the Congress all over the country, look at its agenda. It's talking about caste survey. It's talking about constitution and marrying those two. And in that, if the Congress can build the fact that even if 27% Jat voters are there, we will still think of a Dalit and then marry the two communities together under, as Mr. Pabi said, under a new set of leadership. I think it will be better for the Congress both in Haryana and in the long term. I think the Dalit voters, if they had not deserted Congress, look at the Dalit voters. When Dalit voters came to Congress in
But
UP,
they appointed
look
a
at the
Dalit Chief
number.
Minister, Ajit, but the state was not delivered in Punjab.
No, I completely agree. But in Punjab, the Dalit voters, because of the Sikh factor, do not have the same kind of clout that Dalit voters have in Haryana. Remember, after the Jats, Dalits are the most important in Haryana, and there the BJP is not able to get them together. For a while, at least for the last 1 year, we have seen that the Dalit voters are migrating away from the BJP. So I would argue that the Congress should play a strategy whereby they should have an alliance of Dalits with Jat and the other communities, not overplay this Jat factor too much. Because remember, one reason why other communities came together under the BJP formula, because when you stress on a dominant party which is muscular, a dominant caste which is muscular, then people move away. Dalits are not muscular, right? They don't control resources.
But, more than that, I was just thinking, I think the basic difference, which is, what is the victory and defeat is boiling down, is like a organizational structure. Congress cannot continue to behave like a conglomeration of leaders or conglomeration of factions. It must reinvent itself into an organization whereby whether you sulk or do not sulk, accommodated or non-accommodated, but you work like a sort of a German football machine. When you got to give a pass, you got to give a pass. When you got to campaign, you got to campaign. When you want to play, you got to play. When you are told to kick the ball, you want to kick the ball. I think that's where the difference is boiling down to, and I think that's what Mr. Gandhi perhaps will be grappling with in future, because he's got 4.5 years, and the momentum has been lost by the Congress right now, but then momentum can be regained. BJP regained the momentum in Haryana, Congress can regain the momentum in Maharashtra. Indian democracy provides a lot of opportunities in the worst of cases. So thank you both of you for joining this program in Decoding Haryana, and in the end I leave you with the bites of 3 principal players as to what they had to say after the results.
आशीर्वाद लेने के लिए आया था मैं, और बधाई दी है। आदरणीय राजनाथ जी ने हमें संभाला है, पूरी पार्टी की उच्च लीडरशिप ने हरियाणा के अंदर जिस प्रकार से आकर के हरियाणा के लोगों को संभाला है और एक माहौल खड़ा हुआ है, ये मोदी जी की नीतियों का परिणाम है कि आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी तीसरी बार हरियाणा में सत्ता में है।
सर, इतने प्रचंड जीत की वजह क्या मानते हैं? लीडरशिप,
केंद्रीय नेतृत्व का, हमारा आदरणीय मोदी जी के जो काम है, जो उन्होंने कार्य किए हैं, जो लाभ नीचे ग्राउंड के ऊपर मिल रहा है, ये सबसे बड़ा काम।
सर, कब शपथ का क्या रहेगा?
ये पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड तय करेगा।
आज आप रहेंगे सर यहाँ?
हाँ, मैं यही नहीं, शाम तक ही है।
इंडिया गठबंधन ने जम्मू और कश्मीर में अच्छा काम किया है और सरकार बनने वाली है, और हरियाणा में कांग्रेस ने ये लड़ाई लड़ी है, वहाँ पे जो बाकी गठबंधन थे वो बन नहीं पाए थे और उनको हार का सामना करना पड़ रहा है। इतनी एंटी इनकम्बेंसी थी, हम देख रहे थे, सवाल उठाए जा रहे थे भारतीय जनता पार्टी पे, इतने इनकमिंग हो रही थी कांग्रेस पार्टी में, जिन्हें सबने राइट ऑफ कर दिया भारतीय जनता पार्टी को, फिर भी भारतीय जनता पार्टी जीत कर आई, उनके लिए बधाई का विषय है। साथ ही साथ कांग्रेस के लिए आत्मचिंतन का विषय है कि कहीं टिकट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में या कोऑर्डिनेशन में या नैरेटिव सेटिंग में कहीं कहाँ कहाँ कमियां रह गई, वो आई एम श्योर उस पर मंथन करेंगे, विचार करेंगे और कोर्स करेक्शन होगा।
लोग एंटी इनकम्बेंसी बोलते हैं, पर प्रो इनकम्बेंसी का किसी को नहीं पता। हमारी प्रो इनकम्बेंसी थी, हमने काम किए थे, ईमानदारी से किए थे, सिस्टम को बदला था, भ्रष्टाचार दूर किया था। जिस प्रकार से लूट राज हरियाणा में चलता रहा, हमने उस पर ब्रेक लगाई। इसलिए मैंने पहले दिन से कहा कि जब सारे डिमोरलाइज्ड भी हुए थे, सारे आंकड़े हमारे खिलाफ थे, तब भी मैंने कहा कि
In the heart of New York, an Indian spectacle unfolds.